Cancer, you are standing before a door that few dare to approach. The air around you begins to tremble, revealing truths long hidden. You are not simply being named in a random conflict, but have become the center of a destined process where masks fall away one by one. What you are facing is not an accident. It is the summons of fate, a call of justice you cannot ignore. And prepare yourself, for what is coming will move straight into your soul, with no intention of slowing down. To hold firm your protection, you must acknowledge the sacred power within your heart. Speak it out, clear and strong. I, Cancer, break the chains and step into destiny. When you dare to affirm yourself, the universe will answer in ways you could never expect. Do not delay, for hesitation is the very gap where darkness slips in. This is the moment to seal your energy with unwavering faith and turn it into a covenant that cannot be broken. Every word you speak from this moment becomes a key that unlocks the door of light. Ask yourself, are you ready to look directly into your truth as the masks around you begin to dissolve? If you are hearing this, it is never a coincidence. It is a higher force that chose this very moment to carry you further. It may be your bloodline, your ancestral memory, or the quiet voice of your own soul urging you forward even as you hesitate. Today you will realize that a bond you thought extinguished is still breathing in the unseen realm. There is someone still thinking of you with urgency and remorse. They once hid their feelings behind pride, pretending that leaving could heal the wound. But the thread between you was never cut. It only tightened, waiting for the day it would call out. Have you ever felt a presence lingering at strange hours, as if life itself was pushing that image back into your mind? That is not imagination. It is energy searching for release. And be cautious. It is not only the barrier of ego, but also forces of interference, hands that try to redirect your destiny. I see the shadow of a woman who once planted envy, weaving dark intentions to unsettle you. But you are never alone, Cancer. The weariness you feel is not your fault alone. There have been at least 3 forces working to halt your steps. One force exploited your name in hidden schemes. One scattered false counsel to mislead you, and one hid within closeness, using your mistakes to control you. But none of them can touch the sacred core within you. You feel inexplicable blockages, the suffocating weight on your chest, the urge to give up. Breathe calmly, for there is something they cannot break, your wall of protection, solid as a mountain, ancient and sacred. Your ancestors stand behind you, your bloodline shields you. What is yours cannot be taken. Divine justice is already at work, and truth will shine. The tears you once swallowed in silence have become the waters that nourish your awakening. The web of envy unravels, and each who conspired must face the weight of their own actions. The first, who acted openly against you, now drowns in confusion. The second, more subtle, falls into surrounding loneliness. And the third, who once laughed at your pain, now faces abandonment. Meanwhile, you begin to feel a new lightness, deeper sleep, easier breath, clearer mind. Peace returns, like a warm meal at the table. And with peace, abundance flows in. Not only money, but resonance, doors opening without you having to knock. What was once difficult now finds a way forward. And the most profound gift is love, unbound, unmasked. A genuine connection is coming, allowing you to be yourself. It may come through an old face transformed, or a new presence with familiar eyes. You will know it because your heart no longer believes in empty promises. This time, you are listening with your soul. Remember, you do not need to carry the weight of everyone to prove love. Suffering is not the definition of love. You once thought endurance was your mission, but in truth, choice is the key. I see a feminine presence from your lineage, gentle yet steadfast, stretching out her arms to embrace you. It may be the figure of a mother, a grandmother, or an ancestor who has carried you across generations. The message is clear. Do not let the fear of loss dim your light. What leaves was never yours to begin with. Be brave enough to choose, for it is that choice which will realign your life. You are flourishing in one place and silently withering in another, though you have not seen it yet. Your body has begun to speak, and its voice is not meaningless. Restless sleep, unsettled appetite, heightened skin, and intuition. These are biological signals that your environment no longer fits. To withdraw suddenly from a place that exhausts you is not recklessness. It is wisdom, responsibility toward yourself. Listen to yourself as you would the dearest of kin. The universe is opening its door, but first it clears away all that cannot last. Where you once sought recognition, now respect comes to you. Where you once begged for space, now space itself arrives. Do not shrink back in fear of disturbing others. Your right to exist and be respected is natural, neither too much nor too little. Speak a simple affirmation each morning. I, Cancer, am worthy of space and peace. Repeat it with your breath whenever fear tries to seize control. For the language of the body and the language of the mind must unite to shift your life. When doubt approaches, declare your vow. You will not return to old systems out of habit. Someone may come back, tears may fall, promises may be spoken, but your compass now points only to dignity and inner safety. Listen with your soul and hold calm as your shield. Signs will appear, repeating numbers on a clock, an unusual message in the early morning, a dream that feels uncanny. These are the arrows of divine timing pointing the way. Do not force, let alignment appear. When your heart awakens, life will arrange itself in your favor. Letting go of an ill-fitting chapter is not betrayal, it is growth. You were not reborn to play an old role in an old script. Withdrawing at the right time is pure wisdom, less glamour, more value. You are standing between two paths. The familiar clouds the moon, but the uncertain carries the taste of truth. The brave are not those who hide, but those who expand. Breathe deeply, lift your head high, let the past rest. The strongest part of you has yet to be revealed. Be patient, for the next step begins with this deliberate stillness. Sleep disturbances, restless nights, or recurring dreams may be signals that your psyche is reacting to the environment around you. Changes in appetite, losing or increasing your sense of hunger often accompanies prolonged stress or an internal shift in values. Skin and emotional reflexes. When your skin becomes sharper, more sensitive to stimuli, it is a nervous signal warning that emotional wounds have accumulated. Recognizing these signs is the first step from reacting to choosing consciously. Keep a 7-day journal. Track your sleep, meals, and energy levels morning, noon, and night. Set small boundaries. Reserve 30 minutes each day without messages, emails, or requests connected to people or situations that hurt you. Practice the 4-4-6 breath. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6, 5 minutes twice a day to stabilize your nervous system. Make a reasonable list. Write down 3 things that make you feel safe, 3 that drain you, then commit to reducing 1 draining factor this week. There may be people around you deliberately or unconsciously pulling you back, the opportunist, the envious, the emotional manipulator. When you hold intentional silence, manipulative energy runs our fuel. Non-reaction can sometimes be the strongest form of resistance, because when you stop feeding the play collapses on its own. Where you creates rhythm and emphasis. Familiar, uncertain, endurance choice highlights transformation. The universe opens its door, the bloodline shelters, deepens emotion. Sleep better, breathe deeper, choose wiser, conveys completion. A fertile ground, a low ceiling that hides the sky, paints lived experience. Toxic work, you realize your whole body feels drained every Sunday evening. That is a sign your workplace is siphoning your energy. Action, set a deadline to seek new opportunities and begin applying. Confusing relationships. A loved one repeatedly hurts you, apologizes, then repeats. You practice boundaries. Reduce contact for 2 weeks and observe their response. Inner habits, you always say yes when asked for help, leaving you exhausted. Action, try saying no once this week and notice the relief that follows. Letting go is not failure, but an expression of emotional intelligence. Protecting peace is not passivity, but a strategic choice to restore strength. Inner evolution happens through small decisions. 1 boundary today opens a new possibility tomorrow. Breathe. Keep your chest open. Your next step begins in this stillness, in the courage to say no when needed and yes to what honors your dignity. Protection does not lie in empty words. It is the current of your ancestors, the solid ground beneath your feet. When you choose light, darkness has no place to stay. What belongs to you is making its way toward you, no more frantic chasing. What once felt forced now becomes natural flow and wisdom. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation. Stillness is not meaningless slowness, but the inner process of realigning your axis of life. When you connect purpose to action, your magnetism changes. Life always favors those who dare to be discerning. In love, your heart has walked away from half-hearted installments. There is no more room for empty promises or vague ties. The heart now grows selective, guided by dignity and compassion. The real question, are you ready to keep those standards even when loneliness knocks? If an old figure reappears, you will sense their true intent through intuition before their words. And this time, you will not let your fragility lead the way. You do not judge, but you see clearly. Compassion does not mean returning. Compassion is seeing through. The compassion you've learned does not require you to repeat the old story. Your body confirms each decision with its own signals. Thirst when overwhelmed, the need for silence when noise is too much, the urge to move when stagnation sets in. Following your biology is no longer mere instinct, but a spiritual act. It is the art of caring for body and soul as a sacred ritual. Coherence lives not only in thought, but in every muscle. In your hand lies the key you once feared to hold. It unlocks the final door to exhaustion, and beyond it there is space, light, and horizon. Uncertainty is no longer a threat when it carries the taste of truth. Along the way you will see repeating signs, numbers, songs, phrases, uncanny coincidences. Do not dismiss them, they are glowing breadcrumbs left by your guides. You can respond with presence, or lose yourself in distraction. The inner work has already surfaced outward. Relationships are rearranging, projects cleared, priorities refined. It is not loss, it is conscious pruning for rebirth. Pruning feels lighter when you remember the harvest is coming. A conversation awaits you, bringing clarity and closure. It will not reopen wounds, but pave the way for healing. At the right time, in the right way, you will be fully present. There are no debts left with the past. This lesson asks you to walk with head high, breath steady. The path does not demand haste, it demands truth. And truth will quicken your heartbeat like the drum of awakening. The air around you grows dense, not from fear, but because truth is taking shape. Lingering doubts now gather into clear form. This tension is not alarm, but the knocking of revelation. When life speaks to you in this language, you no longer have the right to ignore it. An invisible thread still binds you to someone. Despite distance, despite pride, the mark you left cannot be replaced. They try to forget, but dreams betray them. Your name still echoes in their subconscious. Your energy still calls. In the quiet of night, you feel it too. And this truth teaches you that real love is not bound by space, but by the depth of awakening. You wonder why someone cannot let go. The answer is not only in personal feelings, but in the complex backstage where attempts have been made to shorten your destiny. It is not only ego or misunderstanding, but calculation. 3 heavy layers of energy have played their part. One used your name as a tool of control. The second disguised itself as advice. The third pretended closeness but exploited your mistakes. How many times have you felt a meaningless exhaustion as if carrying the burdens of others? It is true, yet it was never yours. Others tried to hold you back because your authenticity made their false lives tremble. But they forgot, the light in you was not created by this world. It rises from an immortal source, and what is born from that source cannot be uprooted by envious hands. Cosmic justice stirs and the coverings fall on their own. Those who once bound you now face their own truths. The first sees the walls around them crack. The second tastes the bitterness of isolation. The third loses the mask that hid them. And you rise not as a fugitive, but as a student who has matured. Your awareness is stronger than any darkness. Your energy is being cleansed. Mistakes reveal themselves without you lifting a hand. Peace seeps deep within. It is the fresh wind you have long awaited. You are no longer in defense, but in creation. Even your body loosens as if releasing an old burden. But do not be mistaken. Love also returns in this landscape, but with its own truth. No longer the old script, but love that is clear and unbound. A love you do not have to lower yourself to keep, and it is knocking at your soul. It may be someone new whose eyes see your essence, or someone old returning with change, but you are no longer the same. It is your clarity that now teaches your heart what is worthy. Your awakening is no accident. It is carried by spiritual protection. I see the image of a wise woman in your lineage, strong as stone, gentle as a refuge. She whispers, "Do not dim your light out of fear. Your nobility is both shield and wound." You gave more than you had, hoped more than you received, remained silent before what broke you, believing endurance was virtue. But how many times did you exhaust yourself only to avoid failure? Now you understand, refusing the burden is not selfishness, it is wisdom. What once bound you is now behind you. A new cycle opens, demanding a new approach. This is not the time to shrink back, it is the moment to choose yourself. And choosing yourself is the greatest act of love. The whole flow of your ancestors leans toward you with words left unspoken. There are women in your bloodline, those who were silent, who endured, who never lived their full freedom. You are here to break those chains. You are the one who fulfills their unfinished dreams. When you release what no longer belongs to you, you free not only yourself, but the generations after you. The breaking you bring is healing across generations. What seems like a personal struggle becomes a sacred mission. And yes, you will feel it in every cell of your being. Your sensitivity rises. Emotions sharpen, old memories thought forgotten rush back. This is not weakness, but purification. Light moves slowly, but exposes every corner. A figure from the past may return, not necessarily as love, but as a mirror. It could be someone who once shared your pain, a friend or a family member. They appear because your transformation has touched them. But not everything that returns deserves to stay. You are different now. You listen with your soul, not nostalgia. You remain not out of duty, but out of truth. You will not accept crumbs disguised as love. You are ready to stand firm, even if it means some pain. A revelation is near, carrying clarity. It may come through a conversation, a dream, or unexpected news. It will not be sweet, but it will free you. When it arrives, do not turn away. Listen, it is closure, not punishment. Your soul no longer longs to survive, but to live true. The flame you lit cannot be smothered by fear. What comes next will be intense, and you must stay awake. The peak of this journey rises on the horizon. The air erupts with the tension of what cannot be delayed. What was hidden cannot endure silence, it begins to crack. Every step you take resounds like a hammer striking ancient stone. You know you have entered the decisive stage where truth will no longer hide. Love, once confused with chains, is now redefined. Your heart learns to listen differently, to see beyond words. This time, anxiety's disguise will not deceive you. Your new compass is dignity. This is no cheap romance, no story that asks you to kneel. What comes is resonance in freedom, sharing, respect, companionship. A bond that sees your essence without reshaping it. You wait patiently for what is worthy, even if it takes time. You were not born to bargain away your heart, but to stand firm. The universe has written this meeting. It may be someone new or a return that has truly transformed. But it will not be as before. You will know it by the sense of calm, not the strain. The past stirs when it sees your change. One who once abandoned you may feel you no longer respond the same. They may return, swearing they understand. But you are no longer the one who stood outside of memory. Now you choose from awareness, not from lack. You will not return to where your soul once suffocated, not from pride, but from dignity. You dare to stand tall, even if your voice trembles. When doubt knocks, whisper, "I will not return to the place where I once learned to diminish myself." This is not armor, it is freedom. Choosing yourself is not selfishness, it is spiritual survival. As your heart finds a new rhythm, your outer life realigns. Those who once drained you move away. Empty conversations no longer hold you. Calm becomes your everyday language. In that stillness, someone may appear. They will not arrive in haste, nor with empty promises. They will come with clear eyes, their own story, their true presence. You will recognize them not because they complete you, but because they walk beside you. Do not think you are late. What is coming carries deeper roots. You were not born for shallow love. You were born for mutual, sincere, enduring love. And until it arrives, your task is to build roots within. You do not do this to pull someone in, but because you know you are already your own best companion. You no longer beg for love. Whatever enters your life will reflect the love you have given yourself. And you can feel it beating in your chest even now. Seal this process with a sacred decree. I am worthy of love everywhere without needing to explain. I open my heart to receive from peace, not from lack. This mantra is both shield and key. True love is not disguised sacrifice, but expansion. Shared breath, freedom without suffocation. And you are ready. The conflict you ignited is the necessary separation so that new love has space to arrive. But love is not everything. Your life's purpose also begins to open. You are here not only to keep connections, but to pave the way. What you heal within yourself will release the generations after you. That is a sacred responsibility. The signs will multiply, repeating numbers, chance encounters, symbolic dreams. All are guides for transformation. Will you pay attention or turn away? Your energy expands to the point where it no longer fits the old structure. Some things will fall away like dry branches. Do not cling. It is natural purification. Pruning is only the prelude to blossoming. I know letting go is hard for water longs to embrace. But letting go is not destruction, it is returning to the current what has completed its mission. Look deeply and you will see it is also an act of love. Take care of your path, your breath, your spiritual strength. The universe is bringing you to the crossroads of destiny. One side is the familiar cycle, the other is the horizon of the unknown. The familiar offers false safety, the unknown offers true expansion. The fear you feel is not your enemy, but a reminder that you are about to take a courageous step. Breathe deeply, Cancer, because you are at the threshold of an inner peak. The conflicts you faced were not mistakes, but the keys that unlock the new door. What is about to be revealed is not small. It is consecration for every trial, and you have walked through the healing. Tension bursts into clarity, and the flame within you becomes your compass. It is no longer noise, but a steady beat resounding in your chest. What was once chaos now becomes a map. You stand at the edge of the rebirth your soul has longed for. Pain no longer weighs you down, loss no longer confines you. Your life story is not defined by wounds, but by the strength born from them. Each fall has been a springboard for the resilient self that cannot collapse. Now your breath feels lighter. Conflict turns to release. Someone once tried to confine you in darkness, but that very act made your light blaze brighter. That is a silent victory. What tried to break you has only made you stronger. And that strength now multiplies across your path. Your ancestors smile quietly from behind. The men and women of your bloodline rise, proud of you, the one who broke the silence they carried. Honor them by living what they did not dare to choose. Divine justice is resetting the order, and you are the proof. Masks have fallen, chains loosened, traps exposed. Before you, life opens like a field after the storm. You are ready to sow on this new ground. The gift of the universe appears: deep peace, abundant prosperity, a love without disguise, and above all, the certainty that you no longer need to beg for a place in this world. This is spiritual freedom. Love draws near not as salvation, not as excuse. It will be a true companionship, a gaze that sees through, an embrace of warmth, a silence that listens deeply. And you, Cancer, will accept nothing less because you have learned to choose yourself first. The past may return wrapped in regret, it may cry, it may plead, but you will not stay out of fear of beginning anew. Your dignity cannot be bargained with nostalgia. Anchor this certainty with a decree, speak it with all your strength. I open the path of truth, and I will not betray myself again. That is your covenant with the universe. Each time you remember, your field grows stronger. Do not tremble before the future, for it has already opened because you dared to unlock it. You walk differently, speak differently, choose differently. Your transformation is irreversible. Your guides ask you for patience, for what is true never arrives in haste. What is lasting cannot be built on falsehood. You are ready to wait for solid foundations rather than return to fragility. And the signs will continue to appear on your way. Repeating numbers, conversations laced with hidden meaning, dreams that confirm. The universe has not abandoned you, and you have learned to read its language. Look back, you once resisted, doubted, collapsed, but now you have become yourself more than ever. That is the quiet glory and miracle, not given, but earned. What begins now is real life, not half existence. It is truth nourished by dignity. It is your soul free from chains, unbound unless you permit. This is an invitation to sustain the strength that has awakened. Nurture it each day. You are a lighthouse for yourself and for those who come after. That light will not go out, for the deepest flame has already been lit. Breathe deeply, lift your head high, and be grateful for your courage. What you seek has already been arranged. What once seemed impossible now flows like a mighty river. And you are the one at the helm. So I leave you with this question. Will you stand tall, live fully with the strength that has been awakened, or shrink to blend with places your soul has outgrown? The answer does not only decide you, but rewrites the path for those who come after. Remember, life has chosen you, and the final lesson now belongs to you.